I just remember having like this soul-crushing feeling like my dreams are finally coming true. I have this opportunity. This thing happened, and now I'm getting this like kind of negative feedback and this like dark, looming, long road ahead of getting back to where I want to be.
Welcome to the Injured Athletes Club podcast, the show that helps athletes cope with sports injuries and bounce back stronger. I'm mental skills coach Carrie Jackson. We're sorry you're here, but we're glad you're with us.
And I'm journalist Cindy Kuzma. This week, our guest is Olympic beach volleyball player Casey Patterson. But before we get into the interview, we wanted to share one other key resource with you.
I think when you get into this podcast episode, you will understand why we are promoting this particular resource to all of you right now. You need to go check out our webinar that we did recently with a panel of experts all about why do I keep getting injured. So if you head over to buymeacoffee.com/rebound and click on extras, you can find all kinds of resources there. And this one in particular was super popular, where we had a panel of experts talking about all kinds of things related to either preventing injury or what to do when you have recurring injury. So if that sounds like you and it resonates with you, definitely head over there and check it out. Or you could opt to get all four. There's another option on there where you can get multiple recordings on there as well. And that's one of the ones that's included in there. So make sure you head over there and check it out.
Thanks for that, Carrie. And yeah, maybe we'll send the link to our guest this week, Casey, too, although he has a lot of things figured out at this point. He is an Olympic beach volleyball player who played in Rio in 2016. And over his nearly 20 years in the AVP, which is the premier beach volleyball league, he won 18 different times. He retired from the sport in 2022 and is now an AVP commentator, the co-founder of the creative agency Bite Media, and an ambassador for Better Guards, which is a cool ankle protecting product that he will talk a little bit about in this episode. So I really appreciated Casey's mindset so much because he has, as we kind of alluded to, been injured frequently, but he really has turned it around for himself in some ways that I think are really powerful. And he just talks a lot about how to make a mental shift so that injury is a little bit more of an exciting challenge versus just something that's always dragging you down.
Yeah, he had some really amazing ways of creating that mindset shift of like, how can I use this? How can I use this? It was really fun. It was a really fun interview. And boy, he definitely swung on some big emotional pendulums with some of the injuries that he, that occurred for him. And so you'll get to hear all about a really big impactful injury that he had. And then how he feels like pretty much his entire career he played injured and how he dealt with that and how he used it to even help him be a better athlete. There was so much I resonated with. I mean, I loved the name he gave his ankle intuitively. So you'll get to hear about that too. And just, it was a really, really fun episode. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Yeah. And we'll link in the show notes to some videos of him playing too, because you can kind of gather from his personality when you listen. But if you watch him play, he's just a delight to watch too. We also want to give a big thank you to our exclusive sponsor for this season, Lever Movement. They're the creators of the Lever System, an innovative way to reduce your body weight while exercising on a treadmill. You're going to hear more about that a little bit later on in the episode. And here is our interview with Casey Patterson. Casey, welcome and thank you so much for joining us on the Injured Athletes Club.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I feel like our brief little discussion before we started was that like, this is my wheelhouse. I feel like I was always injured. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, our tagline, what we always say is, we're sorry you're here, but we're glad you're with us. This is the Injured Athletes Club.
I love it.
I know. So we know that injury and illness and being an athlete or being a retired athlete, all of that can be a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs along the way. So Casey, how are you doing today?
Well, luckily I felt like during my career when I finally had access to like the right providers and, PTs and doctors and chiros and, surgeons and have the ability to learn so much from them when your living is staying healthy so that you can go make money. For me, it was invest in yourself all winter so that in the summer you could go hopefully be at your peak and go win as many tournaments as possible and and make your money. So you could make it in this like small amount of time, but it was just like kind of like a roller coaster, like all at once, you're just hitting the peak. And so for me, it was like really important to remember how these therapists or PTs or anyone who was helping me with my body really remember what they would tell me, how to fix it, and what I could do on my own. So that when it happened, if let's say I'm on the road at a world tour event and I don't have anyone, I'm not like an injured, athlete that can't do anything but just be like, oh, I forfeit. I've got to pull out of the tournament. Like, all right, what do I remember? How can I do that? So you almost become like a quasi therapist yourself. Like I'm fixing all my kids and helping the in-laws. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me fix that. I had that for years. So, for me, it was like, I always look for the positive of those things. And it was like, wow, I learned so much from all of those people in the networks that helped me in USA Volleyball, on the AVP, on the Pro Tour. And then just from friends that were in that industry that helped me too, that I just didn't have anyone else to go to. And so that was kind of like, I built a family of people that were willing to help me. And then I was like, okay, I need to remember all this because I don't want to, rely just on them if I need to go play or perform.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'd imagine, that would serve you well even now, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're still doing lots of active things.
Now I'm just focused more like full all in on pickleball. So that's just like a whole different type of injuries. Yeah. It's crazy. I was even playing my last 2 years. I was training at the beach, would drive to Hermosa, play for like 2-3 hours, lift weights while we were there at the USA like gym, and then drive back and just go play pickleball until dinner. I was like, wow, I'm playing a lot of pickleball right now, even though I'm still playing full-time beach volleyball. But it got me hooked because during COVID, everything got shut down. They wouldn't let you go to the beach. The nets were gone. They were arresting surfers in the water. And you're like, what's going on? I need to do something to like get this energy out and do what I've done my whole life and go compete at something. So pickleball fit in perfect.
I love that so much. I love pickleball so much. So all the pickleball haters, if you want to talk about it, you call up me and Casey and we'll tell you how awesome it is.
Yes, it's crazy. It's like everyone just doesn't, it's almost like it grew so fast after COVID that everyone's like, ew. Well, if everyone's doing it, I'm not going to do it. That's lame. It was kind of like, well, because I didn't get into it before that, I'm not going to try it until on my terms.
Cool.
Like,
you're not.
I'm like, fine. You'll figure it out on your terms, and you're going to, once you do, like my friend, he's like, dude, I wish you would have made me play like 2 years ago, because now he has a court in his backyard. I don't even have one. And I'm like, I like helped you and got you like into this, and now you have a court in your backyard? Come on.
I love it. I love it.
Well, then we can add a little bit to this too. We're always curious with athletes, kind of how injuries are viewed in volleyball in general, and I'm curious in beach volleyball specifically and how it's different from indoor, in kind of the risks and the mindset. And then if you want to talk about pickleball after that too, that's all right.
Little appetizer. It's interesting with volleyball. There's, most of us grow up playing indoor, right? We start, at least I feel like majority of us do that. There's nobody that's just like 100% beach volleyball, because it's not like a high school sport in most places. It is where we live, but you just don't really start till later on in life. You play baseball, football, basketball, you're into all the really popular sports in America. And then you kind of gravitate towards that because it's fun. And once you realize how cool it is and fun, you're like, wow, this is amazing. So indoors, it's very impact heavy from landings. Like I had my worst ankle sprains and I had torn meniscus all from indoor. So all my injuries that were like major were from indoor. And then when I ended up playing beach, those were just like residual pains that had carried over into beach, but I got way less injured on the beach because the sand is so forgiving, right? And so on the beach, you mostly get injured. It's similar to pickleball on like an overuse type thing. Like because it's so forgiving, you can kind of play for a long time, even though the sand is hard to move in. Once you get used to it, you're like, I could kind of do this all day long, because when I go play indoor, I can only play for like a 2-hour span before my hips and my knees and my shoulder hurt so bad because of the like extreme impact and even just hitting the ball. You're going for it 100%. Where in beach, you're using all different types of speeds and you're not really like exerting yourself at the max capacity every time. So, with that indoor side, most of my injuries are from that and from playing basketball. And then on the beach, it was just more of these muscle and tendon type strains or pulls or overuse type things. At least for me, that's how it was.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, if my research is correct, I know one of your earliest experiences with injury was when you were in the middle of transferring from a smaller college to play at BYU. I wondered if you could kind of take us back there and tell us a little bit about what was going on in your life and what happened.
Wow, I just got goosebumps. I got like such a long time ago, but I remember that being such an incredible like core memory because I always wanted to play Division I volleyball, and I got offers, but I decided to go on a mission for my church for 2 years and then come back and then I'm going to do it. Right. And so I said no to everybody, came back, and then just like crossing my fingers that it will happen. So I go to the school UVSC in Utah in Provo near BYU. And, we have a really good team, and they had just won the national championship in their NAIA right before. So the team was really good. And we played in the first tournament, and we played the BYU alumni team. And one of the coaches was actually playing on that. And he said, we beat him and won in that tournament. And he's like, you're going to come to BYU because we need you. I went, this is incredible. All right. Wow. So then I just started training really hard, and I actually was lifting, and I put on those goofy like jump sole things, the Velcro or the shoes with like the toes lifted like 4 to 6 inches. And I was doing all these plyometrics and that because I was getting really excited. Like, I finally have my shot. I'm going to like really work hard to get ready. And, I was doing like the butt kicks where you kick your heel to your butt, and my knee locked and just stayed there. And so it basically, I think I had torn it previously playing indoor, but I didn't, not too much to where it never really caught. And then at that point it caught and it just locked out. So my knee was locked for like 3 days until I went and got surgery. And this is right at the point where the coach said, hey, we want you on this team that just won a national championship at BYU. I'm like, wow, all my dreams come true. And now I can't walk. Like, what do I do? And so I remember this was the most impactful thing. I remember going to see a few different like doctors, right? And, they would do the MRI and X-ray. They do all this stuff. And I remember the first 2 people I went to were like, even though meniscus was such a minimal thing, they made me feel and it sound like it was so serious that it'd be 6 months before I could even walk normal again. And I'm like, what? I feel like it's actually a lot easier of a thing. And this is like, if anything you want to tear, that's actually what you want to tear, because you can fix it and get back to like playing sooner than anything else. And I just remember having like this soul crushing feeling like my dreams are finally coming true. I have this opportunity. This thing happened. And now I'm getting this like kind of negative feedback and this like dark looming long road ahead of getting back to where I want to be. Right. And I wasn't even guaranteed a starting spot. I was just on the team. And so all those emotions were right. And when we're kids, I mean, even like minor injury and you can't play was like it felt like 2 years worth, and it was maybe just one game. And you're like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, because we're just, you feel invincible, especially as a kid. And that time is so precious. So that felt like a later on version of that for me in my life. And I was like, wow. And then I finally saw the third opinion, right? And this doctor, I just remember him being so positive and giving me so much hope. And I was like, wow, this is the experience I was like hoping for, because you just are hoping for the best case scenario. And, even if I wouldn't have had that, the way he expressed and spoke to me was so positive. And I feel like sometimes just in the tone of speech, those other 2 doctors could have said maybe they said the same thing, but it's how they said it that affected me so much differently. So that was like a big thing for me. And that's where I was like, I want to go into sports medicine because I want to be that guy for other people.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a really like impactful core memory for me in a stage that was like very pivotal of I'm done. I'm not going to get to play, and I'm kind of going to give up and hope for later. Maybe I can play for fun, or I'm going all in. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have this opportunity to go play at this school that is like, nationwide. They're one of the best teams and they're one of the greatest coaches ever. And so I get to take advantage of that opportunity, or I get to just like be super bummed and depressed and, put myself in this place where it's just impossible, So that was a key point in my life. And it's crazy because it was such a minimal thing. They just scoped out the meniscus. It was like the size of a nickel. For me, it looked huge, but they're like, oh, you only have limited time on this, but you can get back to 100% within 2 weeks or something. And it was like 9 days I was back. I was like, nothing was wrong. I was like, wow, this is incredible. It's even better than I thought, and so, but it's in those moments in your life that those things are so much bigger than how I would see it maybe now, But that was a huge part of my the process of being injured and dealing with it.
Man, I mean, right. We do sort of like look at things under a magnifying glass when you go through that experience sometimes, but that's a huge swing that you experienced of I am about to like have my dreams come true and then whoosh. Yeah. And then to have those first medical providers go like, yeah, dude, I don't know if you're ever going to play again. Like, what do you do? Like,
I'm like, this is so minimal, really? Like 9 months? I feel like it's like 2 weeks or a month or something and I could be back. They're like, well, you never, we feel like it's really severe. Yeah. Just like, what? Oh my gosh. Man. Crazy.
I know. We always think, I mean, we just hear these stories and it's like, we really want, we want to like provide education for providers on this kind of thing. Like what you should say. And like you said, the tone that you say it and like what you shouldn't say. It's, oh man. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, but I'm very glad that you came out the other side healthy and obviously did go on to play at BYU. When did like injury kind of next become a concern for you? I know like we understand you've maybe sprained your left ankle more than 50 times. So when did all of those things kind of start to pop up?
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like as a youth, you go from being a little kid who never warms up and you slowly just like, you get bigger and stronger and you still don't need to warm up. And then you get bigger and stronger and you really don't need to warm up because you're still growing and you're just like, wow, I feel like Wolverine. Like every day I wake up, I'm just like back at 100%. Like this is incredible. To the point where, all right, now like maybe all the training and the overuse and all the work, it's not structured enough to protect me to get the best out of myself, but it's just like maximum volume all the time. Cause that's how you think as an athlete, especially like, well, if I work harder than everyone, I'll be the best. Right. You're like, true. But if you work smart as hard as you can, you'll actually reach something higher than that, what you can even see. And so for me, it was like, all right, I have this opportunity. Now I'm in school. I'm at BYU and I got patella tendonitis so bad. I had to take like the majority of like my sophomore year off where I could barely walk. And I didn't know how to fix it. They weren't helping me fix it. It was just like a rest and ice and recover type thing. And that was really hard too, because then I'm just watching opportunity go away, right? And then of course those kind of slowly get better. And then I've rolled my ankle, someone comes under, I roll it again, and then you roll it again because you come back a little bit too soon. And you're like, the ankle injury is just like, it's just the hangnail. It's the constant, just they keep coming back. It's always painful. It feel like it's never really, even all the therapy and preventative stuff I did, it never feels the same. So yeah, that's just kind of like the trickle effect of trying to better yourself in too much of this quantity mindset. And that's what I always had was if I'm always shooting hoops more, or I'm always getting my reps in or lifting more and never really like taking a break, I'm going to be the best. But I just didn't have the infrastructure and the knowledge to do it correctly and wisely. And that's what I teach my boys now, where I'm like, you have no idea how good you have it now. Like, I've got you guys dialed. You're like Ivan Drago in Rocky V. Like, I got you on, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be the most perfect physical specimen and not be injured because I'm going to help you do it the right way. And so that you actually have the right mentality around it too. Not this, I don't want to say unhealthy, but like, it's just a way of thinking that isn't realistic, but that's because you're a kid and you think you're invincible.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, what are some of the ways that you kind of coped with, especially the ankle, and knowing that was something that was kind of an issue for you? Like, I think I've heard you refer to the ankle as lefty. Like, did you kind of personify it a little bit? Or what are some of of the mental skills that kind of got you through all that?
I almost gave him like a negative name, but then I didn't want him to like hate me more. And then I rolled him even more and then just not be able to walk. I'd have just a nub. I mean, I was some of the most gnarly times, like in the middle of playing in world championships in the Netherlands, and we're winning this match and I'm jump serving and I land with no one around and roll my ankle so bad. And we were at 14-12 and we need to get to 15 to win the match in the third set. And I could barely walk. We win that point or whatever. It was 13. We get to 14. So now we have match point again. And I'm like hobbling back. I'm like, oh, I hope they didn't